Hello and good morning. It's Friday. So I thought that I would finish this up. I've been working on it this morning for my Mad Magazine cereal box. So I wish I had better handwriting because that looks like crap, but it's my writing, so there's nothing more I can do about it other than let it look like crap. But I just wanted to finish this up, so there's a couple of finishing touches that I want to do, and then we'll move on to what we're here for today. Um, I need to add some circle cereal to my um, cereal bowl, so I'm going to get this out. And probably one pass is going to be enough because I just need to fill in some little areas. And I want to make these really gross, so I'm going to make them skin color. And I'm going to use tea dye for that. And then I'm going to put some red splatter. So I'll go ahead and just fill in what I need to fill in here. Oh, that's my mouse. Okay. So let's get the tea dye out. And I really can just kind of fill in like so. I need to refill my tea dye. And then I've got my little Posca pen here. Let me just move everything else out of the way. Although I might do some blood splatters on that. I don't know yet. That's a nice dark red. Let's get out my little favorite splattering tool. Oh no, this makes some pretty chunky splatters. I think I will do some splattering on here. Nah, I'm afraid to do, I might do some white. I'm afraid to do the red. Let's let that dry for a minute. I'll do a little bit of white splattering on here. I hope all is well with you this morning. Um, Let me think. How do I want to splatter? I'm thinking. I kind of want my splatters to be purposeful. So I think what I'll do is shake up my pen. Make sure that it's flowing. Just do light taps. I done lost my mind when I decided to do this whole thing. Morning, Pam. You're up early, friend. Okay, let me just help this along and drying out so we can get on with the show. I just wanted to get this done and out of the way. I redid my clown face. I wasn't happy with the old one, so I did a new one. And I like it better. Although it's gross and scary looking, that's exactly what I was going for. Okay, so what I think I'll do. Thanks a lot, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and put this down onto a card base. Um, so that anything dimensional that I do isn't funky NASA. So I got to cut one. I have a whole, you guys know I already had a ton of prepared card bases, but I have no idea where I put them. What a shock. So just make them on the fly. And I'm going to do top folding. Where is my Trinity thingy? It's buried here somewhere. Where did I bury that damn thing? Not there. There. A bone folder. I don't use this for cutting because I can't find the spare blades that I bought. Story of my life. Yes, I will zoom in. Absolutely. Although this part doesn't necessarily need zooming. I'm happy to do it. Okay, now I have two card bases. Good, lovely. And I can glue this down and trim off the excess. Oh, out. You mean like that? Let me know. So where's my glue? Right here. Come here, you. I texted Mike and asked him to please not mow the lawn under my window, but he was already running the weed eater, so he probably didn't get my message. Oh, look, wet paint. Doesn't matter because it's getting covered up. You can see I've got a crooked cut. No biggie. No biggie at all. This top folder. Scoop that up. Scissors. Okay, look, how about I bring them up close? So I kept the whole body and everything. I just redid the head. You know, sometimes you're just not happy with something. And then I've got a little white sticking out here, which will bug me. This is my problem though. When I hand trim like this, sometimes I end up cutting off parts I didn't mean to cut off. It is what it is, right? Okay. Now, zoom in a little bit here. And let's cut out the cereal, the little crunchy bowl cereals. Ugh. I just didn't want to clean up my mess until I finish this because if I clean up my mess, the likelihood that I'll finish something is 0, 0. Quiet in here this morning in this, chat. And look, I got dirt on my little sign. See, that's just my stinking way. All right, where is my poking tool? Here it is. I cut it just right so hardly any of them have blood splatters on them. That's okay. I may not like them. So there's that. There's that possibility. Let's find out. Just going to kind of set them in here and make a decision from there. This was kind of last minute. Like, I really want more. You know, kind of like Lucky Charms, only, you know, dead kids. Oh my gosh, I didn't say that. I didn't mean it. It's only about the movie. Hey, honey. Okay, so you decided not to mow the lawn right now. Yay. Yeah, I do like them on there. Okay. So let's commit. Let's get this over with. Tell that guy's not stuck on very well, so I'm going to help him out here. Let's see, do I want this one on here? Yeah. I think I want. One sticking out up here. So. Can any be falling out of the bowl? Yeah, definitely. Morning, Jay. I know I heard you out there with the weed eater, honey. I figured you were mad at me and gonna get back at me. Because I was being brat this morning. What's new? Oh, there's one with a little blood stain on it. There, that looks more like a bowl of cereal, huh? So Elvis wants to be in the video. No, he doesn't. Yeah, maybe another one right there. This is hilarious. I don't know why I think of stupid crap like this. I commit myself and I've got to finish it. Okay, so I want to put some glossy accents. That's always very last. So I'm going to put some, there's 3 layers of nose on here because I've messed up every single one of them. Okay. And I can set this aside to let it dry before I take pictures. I had a hard time thinking of a name. I could only come up with It Crunch. And I imagine that anybody that hasn't seen or heard of it or Pennywise is going to be scratching their head. Like, what the heck is going on there? But that's okay. If you know, you know. Pennywise eats children. And he's not even really a clown. Uh-oh. Don't want that there. What is that? Ah, there we go. Give a little dimension to our cereal. Anyways, it gives a whole new meaning to the term serial killer. Okay. A bowl of kids. Yes, I am back on the Trinity team. So the die, it's several die sets, and it's back from June. And let me just recap that, and then we're done with this card, and we can get on with what we're here for. As soon as I find the so it's a tiny clown die set, and I haven't put these back because there's too many of them. I'm going to end up putting them in a bag, so they're just living on a magnet right now till I get around to it. And then the tiny Whisk and Wish, which is the bowl. This is the Crafty Pantry Box, which has all kinds of accessories, but this is the only part of it that I got sent. The font is the Funfetti Alphabetti, and then the tiny balloon assortment. And then I also use the Trinity Abducted stamp and die set, and I use the Seriously Awesome die set. Let's see, what else? That's it. Oh, and the tiny balloons, which I don't see. I must have put them away already. And then I also used a stencil. I don't know where the heck I put that. Anyway, that was my fun little homage to Mad Magazine. Now I'm going to put this away and let me just step over to a place I probably won't touch. Let it dry. And then we're going to do the fun stuff. So, moving crap out of the way. To get this off of here, I need to scrape it with a good piece of paper. Hi, Jim. Yeah, modern take on Hansel and Gretel, or yeah. And some people are just completely freaked out by clowns, so that makes it all the more fun. So I had here a spread, and this is watercolor paper. I was thinking I might try this instead on the mixed media paper, so let me grab one of those. Oops, dang it, Bobby. Okay, there we go. That's good enough. And I want my messy mat. I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. Then I'm going to be using my Simon Hurley scrapey tool and some acrylic paint. So I have here, just using what I have, friends. I don't know why I took out the black. I didn't do that. Blue, blue, green. All these colors. And I also want to get out a paper towel or two. Uh-oh, where did I put my paper towels? Okay. How do a roll of paper towels disappear? How does that happen? Oh, there they are. Okay. And I think I'm going to go crosswise on the page. So I'm going to turn it this way because dragging is, you know. And we're going to start with the purple. And I'm just going to mush some on like that. Then go on to the pink. Oops, I wanted to start with this purple. No, I want to go to this purple next. Oops, oh boy, that is messy. Gonna do blue. Gonna do phthalo green. I would say probably phthalo. And do brilliant yellow green. So I'm just blobbing it on here, and you could use a roller too if you wanted to, you know, a rolly thingy. But I want to use this. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to scrape it along. I'm doing it kind of a little bit asymmetrical. Good with that. I'm going to set this over here for a moment, and I'll show you something fun. Is I'm going to take, this is just some sticker paper. I'm just going to take and flip that on the sticker paper and let that dry, and you can peel it off. I've got another peeled off piece here somewhere. Just get my little thingy. Now, if I want to, I can further kind of blend this by moving it a little. Just make sure you wipe it off before you do. This will add a little bit more texture, thin it out, make it a little bit more abstract. Clean out a little water. Hi, Reagan. Good morning. That's clean enough. Clean enough. Okay, now let's give that a dry. Well, I'm waiting for that to dry. I'm looking for my little peel off piece, but I can't find it. And it won't take long to dry because I spread it out so well. You can do this with any kind of acrylic paint. You don't, um, I'm just using what I have because, and I need more colors of these. And I like the Liquitex the best. They're way better than Artist Loft. Okay, 50% better. They're still cheap, like $7, $7 or $8. But you get a lot of paint for your money versus the little bottles of paint that you buy like from Ranger are almost $4 a piece. I want this to be pretty dry. I'm drying the backside because moisture comes through as you dry these to the other side. I want it to be completely dry. Now you could do this on a gel plate if you wanted to. I'm going to grab a stencil. Start laying in some texture. And I'm going to use my Klimt stencil because I haven't had a lot of opportunity to use it. Okay, I'm going to grab magnets because everything's all warpy. Where's my other magnets? I want to move that before I have a terrible accident with it. I get that as flat as possible. And I'm going to be doing black and white on here, so I'm going to start with white. And I'm going to grab my gesso, give it a good shake. I've got a sponge around here somewhere. Just going to pour some gesso out onto my mat. I've got this little piece of a sponge. Sometimes you just make do with what you have. I'm just going to start sponging this on. It's not going to be perfect, and I'm not mad if it's not. Like right there, I just lifted part of the stencil. And that's the whole reason I'm using a sponge, is so that I can avoid that if possible. This sponge is slightly damp, by the way. Like, not super wet, but just slightly damp. Wipe up the white. Now I want to go in with some black. So I'm going to move these out of the way so I can get to it. And I've got my Mars Black. I think that's what I'm going to use because it's a thicker. Okay, I had grabbed it. I had laid it up here, and then I said, no, I don't want that. And I don't know where it went. Okay. This is Artist Loft. Could be blacker. That'd be nice, but it's not. I'm just going to kind of dab that off, that excess white. Fact, yeah. Come in with the black. Just going to come in and do some little A little bit of dabbing with black. I want this further into this square. Need a lot more of that. Oops, that's probably way too much. Trying to get the corners mostly all black. All right, let's see what we got. This is all about a wait and see. Cool, I like it. Okay, just set this over here somewhere where it can dry and the cat doesn't get on it. And then wipe this all up. Set this aside over here for a moment. Now all that paint that I just used will resist. Okay, water, where'd you go? Here you are. I've got a dirty towel already, so there's no point in getting another one dirty. And do I worry about paint on my stencil? I do not. So again, that whole process you could have done on your jelly plate if you wanted to. But a lot of times I'm like, why get out that extra equipment when you could get kind of the same effect without it? And let's just grab a baby wipe off my hands. Because I don't have a sink right here. Tell you what, I love these mats. I really like the way that this paper is behaving. Because the paint's not on there super thick, it should dry fairly quickly. Should is the operative word. And remember, this is just a background, and it will be trimmed down some. But you do want to make sure it's dry before you move on to the next step. Close enough. Close enough. Okay. So now I want more color. I don't want white on here. It's not much anyway. I have to think about the last one I did yellow, and I really didn't love the yellow. You know, it happens. So I think I'm going to do blue. And I'm going to do salvage patina. A couple of spots. Not everywhere. I do want some white on here. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Okay, what was salvage patina? Let's do some. Oh, hot diggity dog. Where is it? Here. See if this preserves. You guys know I love that combination. See how well this paper handles water? It really does. I'm just kind of letting it flow, but I don't want it to melt on the page. I know, right? I just wish I had chosen a lighter shade of yellow. Get this dry because that'll give it a totally different look. You want to be careful when you're dabbing like you see me doing, that you don't dab a wrong color on there from God knows what else you've been dabbing up. Ow! Burn myself. Dummy. Dummy. Trying to wipe that up so it doesn't get back in there and get the backside too wet. Way too wet down here. But again, this paper handles water very well. It warps up a bit, but that's not a huge deal. In a case like this, I'll probably use this, cut it down and use it on the back side of this because I made such a mess on that. We're almost there. We're halfway there. No, we're not. Okay, let's take a look here and see. Okay, so I can see that it's about the right height and it's not quite long enough. So you just fold it in half. Cut down my fold. Thank you. See how easy it was too? It's like, okay, that's easy. And so what I need to do is I need to fill in here. So how I'm going to do that is with washi. And I want to use my black and white. get it right on the line. You know what? Think that through, ding dong. There we go. And then I want, let's see here. I think I want my polka dotted down the center. I got washi everywhere, friends, but I kind of keep my favorites. I'm just going to leave those stick out for now. And then I can lay these on and trim off any excess. I actually want to lay them like so. So before I do that, I want to edge that. And I'm going to use the alcohol ink on that. Find it. Try and stay in camera here. I need to zoom out just a teeny bit there. Glue. Glue. Where'd you go? I'm just using my regular PVA glue for this. So then I'll end up making a full signature for a larger size journal. I mean, a full, a full page spread. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay, we got that crooked a little. No biggie. Gonna fold this way. I need to reinforce this washi. I'll do that in a minute. Let's put this side on. Birds flying. Oh, I forgot to. Just get that middle covered because I'll be trimming off the other parts, I think. Because I want to do, a colorful style journal abstract. Just for the heck of it. Or because I can. Whatever words floats my boats. fold this. And make a decision on how I want to reinforce that. I could just put glue. Off the excess. I know it won't hold though, it's washy, you know. Lots to trim off there. Let's get that pushed down. I need to add more glue. Okay. Out of the way. So ideally, in a perfect world, you'd stop right here and lay something flat on here and let this get flat. Hi, Shadow Lifter from Belgium. Good to see you. So I've got this side. Now I have to decide what I want to put on this side. So I've got the little moons here. So I think maybe I'll stick with that moon theme. Let's put lids on before I run into problems. And I'll show you a little trick with the moons because they are made out of tissue paper. Let me find them. Let me see if there's anything else in here I'd rather use. There's a lot of choices in here. Just getting them out is the tricky part. And sorting through them with shaky hands. Kind of like those too. They're interesting. Definitely like those. Don't want a map. No maps. Huh. No. Different moon faces. Tiny statues. Oh, suns. Peanut butter Captain Crunch. So I think I'll do this one and one of these to start. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to grab a flat paintbrush, and I washed them all yesterday, so hopefully I can find one, because usually when I wash them they're stuck in my bathroom until I get around to getting them out of there. I'm going to use a small one and a large one. I'm going to take my gesso because I want to be able to see that a little bit. I'm just going to pour some gesso on here, and then I'm going to come around this circle and just fill it in with the gesso. And you could do any colors you wanted, but I like to do just white. And I'm not doing it so that it's completely opaque. It's still translucent, but it'll make it stand out a little better. Birds flying high. It's rainy here today, or at least cloudy. But I'm just thankful that it's cooler. And listen, it doesn't have to be perfect either because it's the underside. Yucky Charms. My favorite cereal used to be Apple Jacks, but it doesn't taste like it used to when I was a kid. Or even 10 years ago. It just doesn't taste right. Anyways, I barely ever eat cereal. I'm an egg girl. Give me some hearty breakfast. I don't eat lunch, and I eat a really light dinner, but I like to eat a heavy breakfast. I'm going to take this smaller brush and hope that, you know, look how these brushes get fuzzy and it just makes me nuts. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Let me grab this one here because I don't want fuzzy because I want to fill in these little areas. And it shouldn't take too long, but it might because there's a lot of them. But it's worth the effort to really kind of make that black design stand out a little better. And notice I'm doing it just to the edge because I want everything else to disappear. But if I'm going to eat a breakfast cereal, I would go for honeycomb or um, I love multigrain Cheerios. I know that sounds weird, but they're good. So again, you could paint these any color you want from the backside. And let me show you what it looks like on the front, just so you get an idea. So you can see that adding the white will make that stand out better. And these are such beautiful designs that I really don't want to bury them. But I do want to keep the details of this kind of Medusa sun hair. And it's okay if you go a little bit over, not a big deal. Especially if you're in a hurry. I'm usually never in a hurry except for when I'm doing a live, just because I don't like to keep people, for hours and hours. Because I don't monetize my lives, I don't monetize until after. And so, I want people to watch the replay. And if it's too long, I mean, I know for myself, if it's too long and I'm not part of the chat, I won't watch it. Or I will scrub through. Just being honest, friends. Now, it's different when you're in the chat because, you're interacting with other folks and the artist or the creator that you're working with. Do I hear a cat? My cat. Huh. She might have snuck in when Mike opened the door. I don't mind if she's in here until she gets under my feet. Then I do because I'm scared I'll run over her with my rolly chair. Because, when you're in your craft zone and you want to roll over to grab something, you're not thinking about something right maybe being under the roller of your chair, like a long tail. So I was talking last night on my live talking about a new medication. I didn't end up taking it because I was worried that by the time I got done here and got done with dinner, it was like 7:30 or so. And that medicine is supposed to kind of linger for about 12 hours. So I didn't want to chance not, being a groggy, grumpy, whatever here on this live this morning. So I'm going to take my first dose tonight. We'll see how it affects me. It might not. That's the only thing. You just never know until you try. Just trying not to get the rest of my tissue into that paint. You just almost done. And this stuff, yep, there is a cat under here. I feel her soft fur on my leg. I'm wearing shorts. Hi, sweetheart. Come here, honey. Come here, sweetheart. Come here, babe. Wait. The people want to meet you. This is her. Look at her tummy. She had the best tummy. Okay, I'm gonna let her down. All right, sweetheart, run away. That's May May. When I got her, her name was Maple. And it's probably because she has that little orange spot at the top of her head. But I don't actually even call her May May. I just call her my baby. Pretty baby. My baby. She's my baby girl. And you didn't run away. But you're gonna chew on my stuff, you little brat. She doesn't like to be held. And I don't force her usually, but sometimes I'll pick her up and kiss her because I just can't help myself. Anybody else do that? It's torture for the poor cat, but too bad. You know what? Too bad. I'm gonna kiss you. They forgive pretty easy. At least mine does. I don't hurt her. I just kiss her on the nose. What? She's over there trying to tear one of my stencils out of my stencil box. You leaving? Bye. Bye, Felicia. So if you're allergic to cats and I say I'm going to send you something, just be aware that she lives here and she comes in here. She's about the only animal I'll allow in. Once in a while, I'll let Elvis in, but that's only if Mike's with him because he likes to pee on things. There we go. Oh, it took forever, didn't it? Sorry. I'm just yapping away. Huh? You definitely don't. Well, you're allergic, right? So that makes sense. Let's get baby wipes. Since I don't see my paper towels again, I've lost them. Clean this up. And I'm gonna just take my scissors here. I cut out this piece here. while that one kind of sits and dries. This is dry already. And now I'm going to take my water brush. Where did I put you? Can't turn my turn thing because I got crap in the way everywhere. I don't see a water brush. All right. There it is. Come here. Needs water. And yes, I do have other cats, but they don't live up here. So all I'm doing now is just painting water around the outside edges of this so that I can tear it. I'm getting it pretty good and wet. I may not be able to tear that edge because it's too tight. And I'm getting pink on it because there's pink on my fingers, but I'm not going to stress over it. There's no point. It's only crafting. Let me just get the pink off my fingers though, because I don't want to pink up my sun there. If I got any color on it, it'd have to be yellow. So yeah, let's do that. We're doing the sun in honor of the beginning of Leo season. Because me and a lot of my crafty friends are Leos. Last year, Bitty Penny and I did a Leo party. We have to do that again this year, maybe. It's her birthday. I think it's 2 days before mine. So because I got that wet, the gesso kind of resists the wet. So I can tear this and get a more organic edge on it. Yeah, I had a feeling about that one edge because it's just too small. I don't want to risk ripping my little piece of artwork. Okay. And trim this one out. I just want to give it an organic edge, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Still a little wet right there, so be careful, ding dong. You want to use a good amount of water. You can also take a big paintbrush or something. Just kind of tear at it. But I don't have much luck with that. I have better luck with just tearing it. Try not to touch the wet part. Oops, see, that's where you got to be careful. You could end up ripping your design. Just tearing off the major parts, leaving the minor parts straight. It doesn't matter. This stuff doesn't tear as easily as other tissue papers like the Tim Holtz tissue paper, although I imagine it's probably pretty close to the same thing. Okay. Okay, good. I'm hungry. Start breakfast, Mike. Now I have to decide how I want to do my focal point, where I'm going to put things on here. I think I'll put Medusa right here in the lighter area. Oh, this is also Medusa. Do this kind of in that configuration. So I've got my matte medium, and let me grab a paintbrush here. That brush is too, I guess it's not that important because it's going to get washed, but I like to use a flat brush if possible. Okay. Just drip a little matte medium on it. Spread it out best I can. I want to pick that up with my tweezers. Oh, thank you, Jim. Slightly tap that on, and then medium. So the parts that I don't have white paint on almost disappear into the design. Almost is the key word there. Let's try not to get matte medium on my other side. Okay, let's get this guy on, or girl, or gal, or person. Kind of would like that to be straight if I can. So that's my trick. Paint it white first. And then it's a little more opaque. You can see the design a little better. My other lesson of the day, clean up as you go. So that you don't get crap on your other side. And I'll probably stitch this together. Okay, so I need, these aren't the focal point, these are just part of the background design. And I think I want to do, I love doing washi tape, it's so easy. Let's try and get that on there straight. It doesn't have to be straight, but I'm kind of picky that way. And I am trying to make my design semi-symmetrical. Might have to add glue to that one. And yeah, but see, I want the outer edges to more disappear into the, because I can't I mean, I can cut them out, but the tissue is really, really thin. So I like to, so I think I know what you mean, but I don't think so. But maybe. I never want to discount anybody's bright ideas because then you leave yourself. Right, exactly. So, but I mean, maybe you could. I don't know. I don't know, but I've been told. Because remember, I have to reinforce these. These are the strips I cut off. So let's use them. And that'll reinforce that edge. Sun in the sky. You know how I feel. I like it. I like that. That's a good idea. Glad we thought of it. Okay. And this isn't really even that straight, and I don't care. Next, we're going to add some texture, and then we're calling it a day because I have to think about how I want to do, because I want my focal point to actually be words. Come on, go where you need to be. There, that'll hold all that washi tape down. And it just kind of adds to the design. All right, texture. Time for texture. Come on. Grab a stencil that might make me feel happy and joyous. Where are my stencils? Oh, yeah. Remember, I was just complaining the cat was in them. I think I want to stick with the stars. The last time I used the small stars. I think this time I'll use the big ones. And what I hadn't thought through on this side was I hadn't put these words first. And so I had to work over top of my glittered badoobadoobas, badoobadoobs, manu. So I think I'm going to go this way. And I want the small ones. Let me go get the small stencil. Hey, you know, such a banger. Yeah, I like the small ones better. So here I have to make a decision on what I want to use. You know what? I'm just gonna stick with Cat, you can't be there. I made the mistake of giving her a wet food, like as a treat. And now she won't leave me alone. And I don't want her to have wet food all the time. because she's got a little mental problem where she doesn't bury her poo. It stinks. Okay, where is my knife? Here it is. I'm just using this opaque matte texture paste. I like this stuff when it actually starts to kind of dry out, because it's dries faster and it goes on thicker and neater. Again, I am going with symmetry on this. You don't have to. Oops, don't lay that on there, you dork. And I'm deciding whether or not I want to add glitter, and I don't think I do. I had added glitter to the other side, but it was a mess. I don't want to deal with the mess. Let me pick this up for a minute. I want to clean this off a bit, because that is texture paste. Dirty baby wipe. Just clean that texture paste off of there real quick. There, it's much of a time. All right. So here's where we are with this. And this opaque texture paste will dry a little bit more translucent. Yeah, no, I don't think I want to add the G word. But I'm going to let this dry, and then, so here would be the inside, and then just do any cleanup that I need to do. And I think I'm going to do block letters of some sort here. But I'm going to have to think that through while this dries. So that's it for today. We did what? We finished the, where did I put it? Somewhere where I can't touch it. We finished my cereal box card with my little horrible scary clown. I still like him better than the last one. The last one was pretty funky NASA. And then I showed you a technique to spread paint, and you can see that I've covered most of it. So, but I did the same here, but I did up and downs. And then painting white on these. And I ended up getting yellow on here on the outside. That was my bad, but it's okay. It's fine. And then collaging them so that they're a little bit more opaque and you can see them better on the design. But thanks everybody for coming. I hope you have a happy Friday. I'm gonna go see what Mike's making for breakfast because I'm hungry. And yeah, you know, I'll post pictures later. On my Instagram is usually where I post them. And my Instagram does also go to my Not Afraid of Color, not group, but my actual Not Afraid of Color Facebook page that I had to make when I started doing stuff for Ranger. So anyway, everybody take care. Thanks. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, all the YouTubey things. Leave comments, ask questions. Tell me what an idiot I am. I don't care. Have a good one. Bye.